Welcome back, ladies and DeGents, to another fun-filled episode of the Distinguished DeGents podcast, your one in many homes of degenerate gambling. I am one half of the Distinguished DeGents podcast. I'm Steve. Big Bucks a beta, and big bucks in quotations, because big bucks was what I lost last week on every single pick, every single bet I made. Went pretty much fucking over, so hopefully you guys just ignore all my picks and pick the other side and just ignore what I say. Or you can listen to the other guy who is on my right. It's the one and only Jason Money Mansman. Mansman, happy Thanksgiving weekend to you, bud. Hope your picks went a lot better than mine.
Here's what I'll say. I didn't have a great week last week, but oh me, oh my, has Thanksgiving and Black Friday been just the shot in the arm I needed.
Yeah, I've rebounded a lot better on Black Friday. It's been a dog week so far. All four dogs winning and covering outright. Out of the four, I would say between the Lions, the Chiefs, the Eagles, and then the Ravens, what was the most disappointing? What was the most surprising to you?
I gotta say, the most disappointing had to be Detroit for me. I thought Detroit was better. And I really thought that in Detroit, that would be the revenge game. That was the one game that I sort of didn't have perfect. I thought Detroit was going to be better. And they let Jordan Love go up and down the field in a way that I haven't seen in many weeks. So that was the most disappointing performance for me, because I thought Detroit was better. And now they look up and they're in deep trouble in the NFC.
Yeah, they are. I think 4 touchdowns for Mr. Love yesterday in Detroit. Most disappointing and shocking for me, both in the same. Lamar Jackson, primetime Lamar, laid the biggest possible fucking egg on Thanksgiving. That was shocking to me. Like, Cincy has not been a good team all year. Even when Joe Burrow was playing, they were not a good team. They were not a winning team. Barely beat Cleveland week 1. Week 2, he gets hurt. And Joe Burrow just walks into M&T, lays down his pipe, and then just walks out with a turkey leg. Like, it was fucking nothing.
Yeah, no Maryland crab, but he did get the turkey leg.
He did get the turkey leg. And I don't the fucking turnovers, man. That's what really was more disappointing. Like, it was shocking the Ravens lost. But it's Joe Burrow, so you're like, okay, maybe it's a divisional game. It's not impossible. Just the constant turnovers, mistakes, letting the ball go. Just that I did not see coming. That was brutal. But
yeah, they got
Cincy plus 7. Yeah, when you had Cincy plus 7, that was a no sweat.
Yeah.
And speaking of, I know I owed you a little bit of an update. I had a couple early exit parlays due to Amon-Ra St. Brown. All came in. I basically broke even. So we're going into week 13 for Sunday. Basically, I'm pushing the chips all in on a bunch of sides. We're gonna pray it hits, or I'm gonna have to reload, and it's gonna be a bad day.
Nothing wrong with that.
I've reloaded all year. It'll be the first time I've had to reload all year. Anything else you want to get into before we go through the remaining 12 for week 13?
No, I'll save a comment that I have. It involves my team, of course, but I'll save it for that game.
Fair enough. All right, we are on to the remaining week 13 games. Let's kick it off. Let's start in Tampa Bay. The 6-5 Bucks are, I believe, coming off of a bye week, if I'm not mistaken, or they're coming off the Sunday night loss.
Yeah.
That's what it is. They're laying 3.5 at home, minus 200 on the money line. They're hosting the Arizona Cardinals and Jacoby Brissett, plus 165, plus 3.5 for the Cards. 44.5 is the total. Game is at Raymond James Stadium out in Tampa. So, a lot of injury news in this one. And I think I may have overlooked it, but it looks like Baker Mayfield will is trending towards starting. It looks like the running back, not Rashad White, why can I not think of his name right now? Bucky Irving. Bucky Irving.
Or Bucky Irvin, excuse me.
Yeah, he's set to come back, and I think that's a really big boost for this offense. I have not really looked into the Cardinals side, but I just know they are injured out to shit as well. But what I wanted to look up was whether Kyler Murray was starting or not, because that might make or break my pick.
I thought it was supposed to be Brissett. I didn't see anything about Brissett not starting, but I could be wrong. This is a red flag game for me because I just don't know what Baker Mayfield we're going to get. He may play, but if he does, I don't know what we're going to get. This is a game I want to avoid. I'm a when in doubt, take the points type player. And we know with Arizona, this seems to be the type of game that they're close in, but I don't know, 3.5, they could very easily lose this game by 4-7. And I just don't know what, if Baker Mayfield's healthy, you're getting the Bucs, at a good line. But obviously, if he's not 100%, if he's 25%, what I will do here, my official pick will be the Bucs because I tend to over exaggerate these injuries. So if Baker Mayfield plays, I'm going with the Bucs. But if not, I think you're getting Arizona at a pretty decent price.
See, what's weird is I look at this 3.5 and I'm thinking this really looks like a Baker line. And if I'm getting Baker at only 3.5 at home against, let's face it, a Jacoby Brissett who is doing his job as a backup for Arizona, but the one thing he hasn't done really is win. He had the one win in Dallas, I think, on Monday Night Football, which was an incredibly rare spot play that you just bet back the Cardinals and it works. But like I said, they already have 6 players ruled out, 2 of them being running backs. Jacoby Brissett is good, but if I'm getting Baker 3.5, I think the play is the Bucs at home. And really, if Bucky Irving is returning, I think that is the X factor on top of Chris Godwin too. Looks like the offense will be coming back. They may be more in sync compared to previous weeks. The Baker injury, it is concerning, but between Rashad White and Bucky Irving, they could win this game. Just the 2 of them, in my opinion, against this Arizona defense, who was looking good through the air, but as far as the run game, I don't know if I've really been too impressed. And then as far as totals go, I have over 44.5, but I'm also assuming Baker starting, so I didn't know if you had to play on that.
I think over if Baker plays. I don't see this being 17-6. If Baker plays and the Bucs win, they're going to score.
Fair enough. So we're both on the Tampa Bay Bucs pending Baker Mayfield starting for the contest. We'll go ahead and move on to the next game. We're going to MetLife Stadium, Mansman, East Rutherford, New Jersey, for the Jersey Jets, the 2-9 Jets, coming off of a loss to the Ravens the previous week, I want to say. And then they're hosting the NFC South Atlanta Falcons, who are currently 4-7, led by a Kirk Cousins. And they are 2.5-point non-conference road favorites at -115, -150 on the money line, +125 for the Jets. 39 is the total. I didn't originally know what to make of this game. I heard a really big sharp is laying a lot of money on the Jets this week. And basically his whole premise is that the only thing Atlanta can do is run the ball effectively. But the Jets have a really good rush defense, and we've seen this before. And if Kirko has to throw it through the air, we've seen that before, and this looks like a prime upset spot. But I did my own research, and I looked at the spots. Jets are not really good here. 2-7 ATS at home against the NFC. They have failed to cover 6 straight. They are 2-6 ATS, 1-7 as home underdogs against the NFC, going back to 2020. The flip side, though, you look at this, the Falcons 5-1 straight up versus the Jets, going all the way back to 2005. Kirk Cousins in this spot of all the quarterbacks, He has won 4 of his last 5 as a non-conference starting quarterback. Falcons, I think, were a little bit like above 500. I think I lost that number. But this year, just going back to my trends that I've been tracking all year, non-conference road favorites. At the end of week 12, it was 14-5 ATS, 15-4 straight up. Now, after Thanksgiving, it's looking like 14-6 ATS, 15-5 straight up. So, I mean, look, you're not going to hit every time, but if you're over 75% on this trend, backing it every time, you're going to hit more often than not. So I just think the Jets really aren't that good of a team. I know Tyrod Taylor gets a lot of hype as covering as a home dog, but I didn't really see anything impressive in that loss against the Ravens, even though they got the back door. But I think that was more telling on them than it really was the Jets. So I'm going to go with, I guess, fade the sharps on this. I'm going to go with Atlanta.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, how many times have we seen the Sharps pick the Jets and then get embarrassed? I've seen that one too many times. And Atlanta's technically not dead. They can't beat Carolina, which is part of the problem, but Panthers aren't that great. Tampa's not that great. They haven't hit the Dream Crusher yet. And I don't know, isn't this a game where Kirko Cousins performs a little bit and then Jets fans lament the fact that they could have had Kirko Cousins back in the day? I don't know. In a game like this, 2 bad teams, I would think Bijan Robinson's probably going to be the best player on the field. I'm not thrilled about this game, but I think it's Falcons or nothing for me. I don't want the Jets as less than a field goal dogs. We forget that this team isn't very good. They did cover the 13. I think they covered the 13.5 last week, just barely. But
it literally ended on 13.
Let's be honest.
I know, because I picked the Ravens.
Let's be honest. They just lost by 13 to a Ravens team that got blasted Thursday night against the Bengals. So I'm not running to the window to bet the Jets as a small underdog in this game. And I like your trend. So I agree with you. I think Atlanta's the right side here.
And let's be fair, too. I mean, the Falcons did just win last week with Kirko. They beat the Saints. Are the Jets really much better or worse than the Saints? I don't really see a difference with that. So the 2.5 seems right. Total play was interesting. I saw the 39. I'm hitting the under on that one because I do think the Jets defense will be able to pick off Kirk. I do think they'll be able to hold them in check. I just don't have faith in this Jets offense to be able to keep pace or outscore them, weirdly enough. So I'm going under and I'm going Atlanta.
Yeah, no, I'm there with you. I think it's Atlanta or nothing for me.
Very well. Game number 3, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It is the Indianapolis Colts at Lucas Oil Stadium. They are coming off the loss in overtime to Kansas City. They are now laying 3 at home, hosting their division rival, the Houston Texans. And I have an extra number in there, but the Colts are minus 170. The Texans are plus 145. 44 is the total. Mansman, I don't know if you checked the flow chart on this game, and if you have, please let us know what the play is.
No, I didn't get a chance to check the flow chart, which is annoying because I feel like this is a flow chart game. Is this a flow chart game for the Colts? Because I feel like you've checked the flow chart.
It is a flow chart for the Houston Texans.
Flow chart for the Texans
in recent bias times.
Here's where I'm struggling with this game. So Davis Mills has played pretty competent football. DJ Stroud is coming back this week. Houston's been winning games with Davis Mills. Their offensive line has actually improved quite a bit from the beginning of the year. If their offensive line plays the way that they have recently, I think it's a no-brainer. My only concern is CJ Stroud a little rusty coming off the concussion, in which case, I think the Colts have a chance. This was a tough one. I kind of grappled with it because I didn't have access to the flow chart. It was kind of a sort of, this was a gut week handicap for me. But I think putting aside the sort of recent flow chart, that Texans defense is really good. We saw it against Buffalo, and I think any game is going to be low scoring. This feels like a low scoring game to me. I think Houston probably needs the game like blood. Otherwise, they're in trouble. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go with Houston plus the 3 here. I just see this being a really close game. And Houston's defense is really good.
Yeah. So flow chart real quick. So recent bias. I'm going only back to 2022. Texans 4-1-1 straight up against the Colts. So basically, even with the Davis Mills year, so literally post Deshaun Watson, the Texans finally learned how to beat the Colts. With that said, you kind of mentioned the defense. That's going to be my key to this handicap. And I'm making this my dog of the week. Give me the Houston Texans 45. We talked the betting. I don't know if we talked about this before in the past either. Betting the Texans as a division road underdog. Now, earlier this year, they did lose 10-17 against the Jags. This is a long-term winning trend, though. 9-3 ATS going back to 2020 for this Houston Texans team. As a division road underdog in that same span, 8-4 straight up. So literally like one time they didn't win, but they did cover as an underdog. But usually if they cover, they're winning outright. In that same time span, this Colts team, division home favorite, they're only 4-8 ATS. But oddly enough, they're 8-4 straight up. But looking deeper, Ryan just owns this Colts team for whatever reason. And like I said, last 6 games, 4-1-1. Now the Colts are coming off of the loss. They're only about 50% profitable the week after. They're only 5-5-1 since last year. But those games, they only managed to cover on average by 3.5. So there is a couple books. If you can get the hook, I would highly recommend it. But for my pick here, I'm just ignoring the points. If I'm going to bet this game and bet the Texans, which I am, I'm betting it outright. Because this seems dog week anyways. We've seen 2 divisional dogs now win and cover outright on the road. This looks like number 3 to me.
Texans, I think, are one of the most dangerous teams in the AFC because of their defense. They are becoming the dark horse of the AFC. The team nobody wants to play if they make the playoffs.
I can't agree with you any more than that. And I mean, I watched Denver go up against this team with Davis Mills and how bad literally Denver only won because our defense gave Davis Mills slightly more trouble than the Texans defense gave ours. But I would not want to play that game ever again, even if I was the Broncos. And honestly, most of the AFC, you saw what they did to the Bills.
Yeah.
That was concerning. And I wanted to throw this out there, too. So the winning team coming off Thursday Night Football, ATS, they don't really do well. They're only 4-7, but they're 6-5 straight up. So, like, they do tend to, like, enjoy the rest. But, like, for whatever reason, sometimes it doesn't come in handy. I just think, looking at the spot, this Texans defense should give Daniel Jones problems. They should be able to stop Jonathan Taylor. And I could see Daniel Jones 2 picks, a fumble. So I'm high on this Texans team this week. So dog of the week there. And as far as over-unders, I have this as an overplay. And again, just looking at the flowchart situation, it's tough. I will say, like, I wanted to do 44, but like they tend to actually play pace and go neck and neck. Looking at the last few here, 2023 was the last game they played earlier in October. 27-29, 23-19, 31-20, 32-31. The tie was 20-20. So you could play the under 44 if you're really feeling like defense will be the key. I think CJ Stroud coming off the extra rest, we're going to see him make some moves. We'll see, though.
Yeah, I think if you like the Texans, you got to feel it's an under game just because I don't see Indianapolis scoring much. And like you said, there could be, I guess the one question will be Daniel Jones, pick 6, fumble for a touchdown, short field, something like that. But I I see if Houston's going to win, I see it being 19-6, 22-10, something in that range.
Yeah, and then I just wanted to look at this real quick. Daniel Jones interceptions only minus 125 right now.
Oh wow.
He threw 3 picks 2 games ago, and he threw a pick I think last week against Kansas City.
Daniel Jones turning into a pumpkin.
Or no, I'm sorry, it was the 2 out of the last 3 weeks he threw a picks. But yeah, that's the other thing too. I think Daniel Jones is slowly pumpkining out. I think it's happening before our very eyes, but I got nothing else on that game. I'm ready to move on if you are.
Yeah, let's go.
Keep it moving. Oh God, fuck this game. The Tennessee Titans, the 1-10 Titans, are 6-point home underdogs against their division rival, the Jacksonville Jaguars. 7-4 for them, minus 290 on the money line. 41.5 is the total. Game is in Nashville, Tennessee. Oh God, I'm just gonna make it your turn. I hate this game. I really hate this game.
I mean, I was tempted to make this one my best bet, except I feel like it's trappy because I feel like they're begging you to play Jacksonville, and then Jacksonville will win by 5. It'll be 31-25. They'll give up a late touchdown to lose to cover. But I've talked about it before on the show. The Tennessee Titans are one of the worst teams at home in the last, 3 seasons. They don't cover at home. They don't win at home. And Jacksonville is legitimate. They're 7-4. They keep winning. They're a good team. And this isn't Indianapolis, where Indianapolis always loses to Jacksonville. I really don't think this is much of a flowchart game. To me, the chart and trend says if you have the Tennessee Titans, you bet against them at home because they've been terrible at home. I think they've lost 14, 15 straight now at home. They're just losers at home. Bet against Tennessee at home. They're going to get the number 1 pick. They're terrible. They're probably one of the worst teams in the last 5 years. If you look at their stats and metrics, they're horrible. Defense bad,
and
offense
oddly
bad.
enough,
They're bad.
Oddly enough, Cam Ward isn't even the worst quarterback in the league on the worst team. It turns out JJ McCarthy is statistically worse than Cam Ward, which begs to differ. How the fuck
when
you
you're giving Russell Wilson a run for his money. Well, not Russell Wilson, Jamarcus Russell. You're giving Jamarcus Russell a run for his money. You know you're bad.
No, you had it right. Russell Wilson was right.
Who you got for this one?
This line, the line feels right. Because, I think of it 2 ways. One is exactly like you said. This is trappy. Why is this only 6? Shouldn't this be 9? Shouldn't this be 9.5? On a neutral, you're telling me this is 8? 7.5? I don't know if that seems right. You would think it should be more, but on the other hand, Trevor Lawrence sucks. I mean, he is possibly one of the biggest number 1 overall busts in a long time. I think he will go down as a bust. On the other hand, though, the line is just so disrespectful. The Jags are a winning team. They have a way better coach. The organization overall, the direction they're heading is the right direction. I just don't know if I want to lay 6 with Trev. I mean, I look at this straight up, Jags will win. I have the Jags winning this outright. Jags are 3-1 ATS as division road favorites. If you go back to 2022, this is the one spot Trevor Lawrence has struggled. He's only 1-2 in Tennessee. So this is a no play for me. I guess Jacksonville, because I think the 6 is too low. And if I think the 6 is too low, I guess that's the side I take. I don't I don't know if I want to back only 6 with the Titans. I'd rather back them plus 8.5, plus 9.5, where I think that number should be. So, I mean, this is a great teaser game, in my opinion. You could either take the Titans up to 12, or you could take the Jags down to a money line. I would probably recommend the money line, but you could go either way on this game. I don't trust it. You're right. There's something fishy with this one.
Yeah, it's fishy, and I don't know how many points you're giving Tennessee for home field. They have no home field.
That is true. I mean, I didn't think of it that way. And I'm looking at the betting splits here. 66-34 in favor of Jacksonville on the betting percentage. In terms of the money, it's a 70-30 split for Jacksonville. So seems like Joe Public is backing the Jags here on this one. They had the same idea, so I don't know if it is. Maybe this is another one where the Titans will backdoor cover it, but not win.
Yeah, maybe. That's what it feels like. Feels trappy.
Like, is this a game? Jags are up by 10, 2-minute drill. Titans score.
Yeah, that's my fear.
They lose by 4.
My fear. I got a feeling.
Yeah, and this total too. This total was fucking wonky. 41.5. Like, I mean, how many touchdowns do they think they're going to get? Trevor Lawrence, I guess, is good for 1, maybe 2. Then again, I don't know. He's so inconsistent, and I do not trust him. And Cam Ward, I think, just is struggling right now. So I have under 41.5 in that game. But
I can't play an under with this Titans defense, though. They're bad. I think I go
That's
over.
fair. That's fair. All right, moving on. Let's go with the Carolina Panthers. They are coming off the Monday Night Football loss to the San Francisco 49ers. They are now going all the way back home to take on the LA Rams, who are a 10-point favorite, minus 575. 45 is the total out in Charlotte, North Carolina. Bryce Young, you are a bust. You are a failure. You will be replaced. This is going to be my best bet. I'm going to take the LA Rams minus 10.
Killer whale, orca.
Going back to the well per se, but it's a trend I've been noticing all year. I've been backing it, and it's been printing me money. And I didn't do it last week when I knew I should have. And if I had, I wouldn't have completely lost my freaking head in my shirt, but I didn't do it. Fade the team coming off of Monday night who loses. This year alone, losing teams off Monday night, 3-9-1 ATS, 4-9 straight up. These teams just struggle the week after with the short rest. Usually it's because they get an opponent that's a step up in class, which is what this LA Rams team is. And I don't know. Like, normally I'd love to fade Stafford in the weather around this time of year, but he's going to Carolina. Like, it's going to be, I think, in like the 50s or 60s. No real inclement weather there. Stafford, I think Stafford right now is like in contention for MVP. Bryce Young is a 500 quarterback who is fighting for his job still. Rams have Devontae Adams. The Panthers don't. And I think finally, like I see this Panthers as a sputtering team. They're going to be close to auto fade by Christmas, in my opinion. And this injury report, they had 2 offensive linemen out, 2 linebackers out, J.C. Horn out, Panthers starting safety suspended because he punched a guy in the dick.
That was bad.
I just see this Rams team having a field day here in Carolina. But it wouldn't shock me if the Rams keep it close. I've seen this before. But I just think with the injuries, with that suspension, I don't know what defense Jairo Ever is going to scheme up for, like, Sean McVay, who's just, God, like, you watched this Rams offense last week with the Bucs. God, they just dominate. And they didn't even take their foot off the pedal. They just fucking kept it going. I just see it happening again here in this spot. So I'm taking the Rams, best bet.
Wow, so looks like we're going heads up. This is my fade of the week. Give me the Carolina Panthers coming off the loss. Fitting week to do it. And I was taking Carolina in some big spots. If you remember, I took them against Green Bay as massive underdogs. And this is a pure just spot play. And you mentioned it in your handicap, and you're exactly right. LA Rams, best team in the NFC, 1 o'clock game, East Coast, West Coast to East Coast, after a holiday. Boy, this game just feels like one that's going to end, LA winning by 8. I don't think Carolina's going to win, but I do think the Rams are going to come out a little sloppy. We know that Carolina plays tough coming off of losses. This has been a bounce back team. I do think the Rams are the best team in the NFC. I do think the Rams will win. I just think Carolina is going to find a way to get the late touchdown, the late score to make it an 8-point game, a 9-point game. I think it's going to be close, but if you're going to do a fade of the week, what is a better fade than fading the best team in the NFC? Maybe the best team in football, to be quite honest with you. Although I'll tell you what, you can make the case that the Bears are right up there. I hate to say it.
They're sneaking up. I gotta say, they are sneaking.
But yeah, so fade of the week. I'm fading the Rams.
You're fading the public too. Rams are getting 64% of the bets, 69% of the money.
Oh, even better. Fighting Barney.
Yeah.
Going against Barney.
I just my only problem with your handicap, and this is just the way I personally see the game going, you're basically betting on a Stafford dud, which could happen, or you're betting on Bryce Young keeping up in a shootout with this offense. And last week, I watched this Panthers team pick off Brock Purdy 4 times, and I watched Bryce Young do nothing with it. I don't know why we're going to think that. And I think the Rams are better than the Niners. They're definitely healthier than the Niners, that's for sure. And I just don't know, okay, say Matt Stafford turns the ball over 3 times. What's Bryce Young going to do with it? What are they going to do against this Rams defense?
Different team at home, though. They have been better at home.
I mean, true, but who's going to cover Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams and whoever their tight end is now, Ferguson? Who's going to cover Kyron Williams? That's been my whole thing with this Rams team all year. Their weapons are they're so far and so many.
No, I get where you're coming from. It's a fade of the week. That's what it should be. Fading the best team. You don't make a lot of money fading the best team, but that's what, you want to be sharp. That's what you got to do sometimes.
Fair enough. All right. Let's move it on. All right. We're going to Miami, Hard Rock Stadium. It's the New Orleans Saints. 2-8 going on the Miami Dolphins. They're not 0-3. The Miami Dolphins are actually pissed, but they're, I want to say, 4-7. So that's my fault for not adding that. All right. Dolphins are laying 4.5 at home, -245. 41.5 is the total. The Saints are 2-1 underdogs on the money line. They're +4.5. Oh, God, we have another non-conference game, and this is like a battle between shit teams.
You Dolphin!
God, I don't think I can ever get the Dolphins right in this one. I have no desire for this one. Do you have anything for this one?
No play. The line is correct. I think 4.5 is where it should be. The line is correct. Normally, Miami at home has the advantage in these types of games, but you never know what you're going to get really from Miami. Definitely a no play for me. I have no interest in this game. I will be taking my business elsewhere. If I had to choose this time of year, Miami at home has an advantage. I guess they're maybe a little better than New Orleans, but I don't know.
Yeah.
This could be a 24-20 game, and you lose.
Do you want to back the Saints ever? I don't ever want to back them. I backed them last week, and that was a mistake. I don't want to ever do that again. I don't like that they're on the road. I don't like that they're on the road against Miami, who's coming off of the bye. I think, if anything, maybe this is a second half play. Maybe Miami comes out a little cold. They come out like pretty dry, like, they come out slow, and then second half, by the time the weather kicks in, especially if the Saints are wearing all black on the road in that Miami humidity, it could wear him down. I could see Tua and Miami coming in and winning it late in the fourth.
I actually really like your handicap. If the Saints come out in their black uniforms, bet Miami. There you go. We'll leave it at that.
I guess under 41.5. Maybe. I'll go under.
The line feels, both lines feel about right.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch that out real quick. Just on my sheet. All right, and we are on to, I think, the final 1:00 game for Sunday. I've heard a lot of interest in this game. I'm interested to get your 2 cents. The Cleveland Browns and Shedeur Sanders are hosting the San Francisco 49ers, who are coming off the Monday Night Football win. And the Niners are 5.5-point non-conference road favorites. Minus 250 on the money line for them, plus 205 for the Brownies. 35 is the low total. I will give you a brief weather report in case you haven't looked it up. It is going to be low 30s, cold and rainy, and there is a current gale warning for 20 to 30 mile an hour winds.
Oh, boy. Wow. Oh, wow. I guess it's my turn, right? Is it my turn?
It is.
My turn. So this is a tough one because normally I would say these are the types of games. The Browns would be my dog of the week, 5.5 points, and you go with them. And this, by the way, this handicap has nothing to do with Shedeur Sanders. Here's my concern. Kyle Shanahan's a master at opening up the run game. And my only concern with Cleveland in this spot is, are they going to get outcoached? Is San Francisco going to put a run game plan in to defeat the Browns defense and find a way to open up the rushing lanes and get yardage? I think just based on the weather in and of itself, I think you just have to take the points in a game like this just because, I mean, it could be, 7-6 this game if there's a gale warning and it's raining. We saw that Purdy will definitely put the ball on the ground. He's not afraid to do that. So I think based on the numbers, I think you'd have to take Cleveland. But I would say be very careful because I think my thought is going to be that people are going to be rushing to bet Cleveland in this game. And I'm telling you, Shanahan's a good coach. He's good going West Coast to East Coast. And I would not put it past San Francisco to come up with a good game plan. And if San Francisco gets up early in this game, I would fade the shit out of the Brownies because I do not think Shedeur Sanders is going to lead a comeback in, 30 mile an hour winds and, heavy rain.
Yeah, I hear there's a lot of sharps on this one. They're siding with Cleveland. I will give them Browns this credit. They're 4-0 ATS at home. Now, if you actually type in what's their ATS record at home, it'll come up 4-1, but that one loss was actually overseas when they played Minnesota on a neutral field. And they were designated home team. In Cleveland, they're 4-0 ATS. I will give them that credit. Here's what I'm going to say about Shedeur Sanders. I hate his cocky attitude. I just hate how he's acting like the new Lord and Savior of Cleveland. Why? Because you beat the fucking Raiders? You beat fucking Chip Kelly and got him fired? I think Kennesaw State could have walked into the Allegiant Stadium and beat the Raiders and gotten Chip Kelly fired. I think Appalachian State could walk in and get Chip Kelly fired. It's not that impressive. Shedeur, you were a 500 quarterback in college. There's a reason you dropped all the way to the 5th round. We actually still don't know the reason why Cleveland drafted you at all, quite honestly. It's clear Kevin Stefanski had no plans for you. You win one game, and you act like, of course, like I fucking was winning this. I'm the best thing from Cleveland. Like, I told you this was going to happen. I hate even more that I think I'm siding with the Sharps on this one, and I think I might have to take Cleveland plus 5.5. The Niners last week, man, they tried losing to the Panthers. Brock Purdy tried to give that game away, and that failed so bad. They ended up winning. Now they're going from West Coast to East Coast, and you're right, Shanahan he's a good coach. He will plan for it. But here's the thing. Like, last week, why did I fade the Niners and take the Panthers? Niners were coming off of a win. Now they're 2-12 ATS coming off of a win since 2024. And Cleveland's defense at home is just something that's real. I don't know what it is. I can't explain it. That Cleveland defense at home just performs so much better. And I think they're going to give Brock Purdy even more problems, especially if he can't throw in these wins. Especially if all he can do is hand it to Christian McCaffrey or do screen and bubble passes. I have a weird feeling this game's going to be a lot closer than we want it to be. Not that the Niners won't win. But again, I could see Shedeur down 2 scores. He'll break the run 40 yards and get it in. That would not surprise me either. And again, 2-12 ATS off a win. Betting it up more often than, if I bet it every time, I win more often than not. So, unfortunately, give me Cleveland. I don't like the spot, though, because I hear what you're saying, and I think you're right. I think this Niners team, if they get up in the first half, any Cleveland bets are dead. And that's the concern. If Cleveland keeps it at least close, you have a shot. But I'm putting a lot of faith in the defense. It's not necessarily Shedeur. I want to make that clear.
Yeah. No, it's Cleveland's defense or nothing. And I think the weather scares me. But like I said, I just trust San Fran more to deal with it.
Fair enough. And then I think we had a total 36. Yeah, with the weather, I'm going under.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, Shedeur, just real quick, like you said, you beat the Raiders. Everybody beats the Raiders. They're no good. And no offense, I mean, he made what, 2 or 3 good throws? Like, don't get me wrong, he played okay. We won. I'm not ready to declare him the chosen one. I mean, I he made a couple good plays. Yay. Let's see what you do this week.
Against a real defense. All right. 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Seattle, Washington, the Seahawks are hosting the Minnesota Vikings. They are the biggest favorite on the card once again this week. They are an 11.5 point home favorite against J.J. McCarthy and this Minnesota Vikings team, who are 5.5 to 1 underdogs. Seahawks are minus 800. 41 is the total in Seattle. Jesus Christ. J.J. McCarthy, I cannot get a read on either. I don't know what it is. I bet him, he shits the bed. I don't bet him, he beats fucking Detroit. He beats Chicago. I don't know, man. I followed the history with these two teams going head to head. They always play close 1-score possession games 90% of the time. Look, I would say this is what, I would look at you and be like, how do we handicap this? And I know what you're going to go. What does Big Dick Sam Darnold do against shit teams? Usually beats the shit out of them. Usually throws up 40. Well, I had that thought last week with Tennessee. Didn't really go to plan. He didn't do that. And I'm not going to admit Tennessee's a good team. So what does that make Minnesota? Are they really better than the Titans? I don't know if I have too much to say about that. McCarthy does look like ass, but the only reason I'm going to double down and take the Seattle team, Sam Darnold revenge spot. I think he knows the Vikings very well. He knows KOC. He knows Brian Flores' defense. I think he'll be able to overcome that challenge, and I think he'll be able to outperform and destroy this Vikings team. I am very hesitant, though, laying an 11.5 when they just got backdoored last week on the road, which is a spot that heavily favors them more compared to being at home. But I don't know if I want to bet on JJ in the elements either. I have concerns about that, but I'm doubling down. I haven't decided to martingale this one yet because I lost my Seattle bet last week. I might do it this week, though.
Yeah. Well, I was not massive on Seattle last week, so I can't say I'm doubling down. But what I am doing is making this my best bet of the week.
Really?
Give
Wow.
me the Seattle Seahawks plus or minus the point. So you have a wounded Vikings team with a struggling J.J. McCarthy, and you have the Sam Darnold revenge spot at home in Seattle. Buddy, this is going to be ugly. Remember what Seattle did to New Orleans earlier in the year? That's what I see this game being. I think, especially Seattle's defense, I think they're going to go to bat for Darnold, and they are going to bitch slap J.J. McCarthy. This is going to be ugly game. I think Seattle is going to win by 28. I would say they might get the over-under on their own. What is it, 41? They might get the over on their own. I see Seattle just killing Minnesota. This is the Sam Darnold revenge spot. The crowd's going to be hyped up. And I think
it's going to be loud.
I think even more so than Darnold, who I think is going to play well. I think this Seattle defense is going to – it wouldn't surprise me if to start the second half we see backup quarterback for the Vikings.
Who? Oh, God, it's not even Commander Carson because he's hurt. Who is the backup?
Yeah, it's some rookie guy I never heard of. I don't even remember the guy's name. But that's what I could see happening. I could see him getting benched like in the second half. I think it's going to be 28-0.
Wait, hold on. Max Brosmer to start against the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sure. Okay, Rookie making his first. Oh, okay. Yeah. Make it my double best bet. Actually, this might be my best bet of the year. Forget best bet of the week. Best bet of the year. Seattle Seahawks.
God. The line already jumped to 12.
So J.J. McCarthy either hurt or benched. Max Brosmer.
Supposedly hurt.
Max Brosmer. They're underestimating how bad this is going to be. This is I'll tell you what, your first half bet, Seattle minus 7.5, no worries. Seattle, you could do alt spreads up to 21. Like this is going to be a beatdown.
You know what? I didn't want to do this, but I'm gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna martingale the bet. I'm gonna lay 2 units though. I think I'm gonna try and get my money back out of it at least.
This could be your mortgage bet. It would be a mortgage bet. Bro, I feel so confident in this because I just think it's Seattle. So a lot of people don't really pay attention to Seattle. Like if this were Buffalo, Kansas City at home, maybe not. I'm trying to think of teams that like aren't that good, but people know. Green Bay, Detroit.
Oh my
I feel like
God.
this line would be like 17, 15, 17.
I'm declaring it. Yeah, we need to declare it. I think it scares me, but we're doing it. This is the mortgage bet. Max Brosmer was a FCS quarterback at New Hampshire.
Oh my God. Are you still? Oh boy. Wow. It's going to be my best
He
bet. Wow.
shredded FCS defenses at New Hampshire, leading the subdivision in passing yards. Oh, he transferred to Minnesota and broke the completions record. Still a losing team, but that's a little better.
Okay. Good luck with that.
John Wolford is the backup.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I remember how. Oh, God. Wow.
Christ.
Okay.
We're going to have to talk offline if we're going to really do the mortgage bet. This is dangerous territory here.
Yeah,
With you on the over, though. All right, let's go to 4:30. Yeah. Yep, it's
do we
time.
have to? Do we have?
The Bills make me wanna shout, kick your heels up and shout, throw your hands up and shout, throw your head back and shout. Come on now, the Bills are making it happen now. Stand up now, come on.
I forgot.
Steelers. The Steelers of Pittsburgh are back at home at Acrisure Stadium. They are 3-point home underdogs, plus 145 on the money line. They are hosting the Buffalo Bills, Mansman's team. Minus 170 for the Bills, minus 345 is the total. Mr. Mansman, it is your team. I do give you the honors. However, you don't look too happy to talk about this one. So.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead first? You go ahead.
Okay, so the breaking news of this one, Aaron Rodgers is expected to start in this game. He will be back. With that said, and this scares me, I don't know if I really like it. I might have to talk myself out of it. This will be my fade of the week, and I am going to take the Steelers plus the 3. Now, putting the Bills situation aside, I'm living and probably going to die by the sword in here because Josh just came off an embarrassing Thursday Night Football loss, and I normally would want to back him the week after. This is the one of very few spots I'm not going to do it. This is a bet the Steelers smash spot at the 3. I would love 3.5. You probably could get it elsewhere. As home underdogs, the Steelers are 8-4 ATS going back to 2023. This is basically, I'm fading Josh Allen on the road against the AFC North, which is a spot he historically struggles in. He is 1-4-1 ATS in this spot in his career. And then I remember watching that O-line on Thursday Night Football and that 2-minute drill just give up on him and let him get sacked 8 times. Oh, look, he got sacked again. What the fuck are they going to do with the Steelers front four? Who, by the way, listen to these statistics. 5th in sacks, 1st in fumbles and fumble recoveries, 10th in interceptions. This is Josh Allen. What I'm scared of, Josh Allen, 2 turnovers, 3 turnovers. They lose 24-20. Could be even worse. Because it's not like Aaron Rodgers. I know he has the broken elbow or broken wrist or something. And I'm wondering what they're like. I don't know if they're just going to hand the ball off 2 times and then do a bubble screen every play. But I think even if you do that, are the Bills going to stop it? Or are they going to just run 2 high shell? Or are they just going to run 2 high shell safety every play? Why play man defense, against, a wide receiving core that struggles on man when you could just run zone every play? And this to me just seems like a game McDermott gets out coached. We especially on special teams, on defense, like he could get out coached here. The 3 is what concerns me. This just seems initially you think it's low. But I think the books are starting to catch up to how bad the Bills are struggling. And now they set a line and they basically are saying Like, here, okay, we're catching on. We dare you to bet the Steelers now. Like, come on, it's the Bills under 3. You can do it. They did it. They did it earlier this week with Kansas City. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah. Really good handicap, buddy. I don't know what to make of this game because it's funny. The Steelers, the way the Steelers have won in the games where they're really successful, they force a lot of turnovers. So my inclination is that Pittsburgh is the right side. Bills top 2, their starting tackles are both out. No Deion Dawkins, no Spencer Brown. We have a bunch of other injuries. Bills have seemed to have some pretty decent success against Pittsburgh recently. The fact that Rodgers is back, I don't know if that's going to make that much of a difference. He doesn't have to worry about
my fade of the week if it was Mason Rudolph. I just
he doesn't have to worry about getting hit because the Bills got negative pressure against Davis Mills, who was barely touched. This defense is not good. Their offense, I mean, the thing is, if they could somehow keep Josh upright, this Steelers defense gives up yards. I guess it's possible that James Cook has a day, gets off some good runs. Bills are the most fortunate team in football as Kansas City lost, the Ravens lost. Literally, if they find a way to win, they're going to be almost a shoo-in to at least make the playoffs now somehow. Seeing as both of those teams have 6 losses and the Bills would only have 4.
And you'll beat Pittsburgh, so that'll give you the edge up on them. You lose to Pittsburgh, kiss wild card goodbye.
Well, I mean, the thing is, if Pittsburgh wins, they're going to have a 2-game lead. Well, they'll have a lead in the division against Baltimore. So that'll help. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to make of this team. They got fortunate. This is a game they really should win if they're any good at all. But like you said, I think the key to the game is the Bills not turning the ball over. And they've turned the ball over a lot the past couple of weeks. And they got away with it against Tampa. They did not get away with it against Houston. But they always lose in Houston. So was that just a flowchart game that the Bills always lose? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But as always, this team is just painful to watch. I'm not looking forward to this game. I'm not looking forward to Josh Allen taking more hits, but that's what we're going to get.
I hate to say this, too. You have an awesome look ahead the week after. You are at home against Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. Week 4.
Oh, another team we don't beat. Okay, so we better win this week because we will lose to Cincinnati next week, even though Cincinnati has no defense whatsoever and is literally coming off a Super Bowl win against the Ravens. So we'll probably find a way to blow that game. So we better win this one. If not, I think we're 7-6 headed into the last 4 games.
You'll be 7-5, and Pittsburgh will probably. I was gonna say I could probably pull up the standings right now, where they currently stand. Oh, here we go. Playoff picture. Any day now. So it looks like to me, if Pittsburgh were to win, both teams become 7-5. The Bills would actually, I think, get bounced out.
Well, aren't the Bills 8-4 if no, you mean Pittsburgh they'll both be 7-5.
Yeah, because Pittsburgh's leading the division right now.
Yeah.
So they'll stay 4, but if the Bills lose and the Texans win, you'll get bounced out.
Who's the other wild card team? It's the Bills. Oh, the Jaguars. I forgot about that.
So, yeah, I would argue this is a must-win. One more stat, though. Like, I ignored this stat initially, but I'm going to throw it out there for you. losing teams coming off of Thursday Night Football, 7-4 straight up in ATS this year. They don't bounce back quite as good recently. I think it was 2 weeks ago that trend was 7-3 ATS, 6-4 ATS, 7-3. But yeah, this one was a tough one, but I'm just trusting the spot. I'm trusting Tom.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one for me to watch. That's for sure.
No, this one's gonna be worse. The LA Chargers, SoFi Stadium, 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. The Las Vegas Raiders. No more Chip Kelly. Ding dong. The fat witch is dead. The Raiders are catching 9.5. They're plus 390. Chargers minus 525, minus 9.5. 40.5 is the total. Here's my handicap. Raiders are on auto fade. That's the handicap. They're on auto fade. I'm not overthinking this one. Chargers will win. And when they win against the Raiders, they usually cover. However, I do have an interesting play for this one. I'm making this my over of the week at 40.5. Go and look at this Chargers. I don't know if you could pull the stats up, but if you look up what the final scores were in SoFi Stadium for the Chargers, oddly enough, this year alone, there's only been 2 games at home that have not hit this total all year. Under Coach Harbaugh, the under has only hit 5 times since 2024. And I think Justin Herbert, could he get 40 on his own? Sure. But I think this offense might get a dead coach bounce. And I think with 40.5 being so low, I know the Chargers are good for 20 to 24. The question is, will they end up getting 30 and then the Raiders will get 13? Like, could the Raiders do the bare minimum? I know last time they played, it was like 20-9 on Monday Night Football. Usually these games, like, one is really bad and then the other one tends to be really close. I think we've seen the close game. This one, I think, could be the dagger that kills Pete Carroll.
Maybe, yeah. My handicap's simple. Like you said, Raiders are on auto fade. They're unbettable. They lost at home to Cleveland. Shador Sanders, who looked like the worst quarterback in history 2 weeks ago. So, auto fade.
All right. Sunday Night Football in Landover, Maryland. It is the Washington Commanders, a.k.a. the Commies, a.k.a. the football team.
Washington Redskins, go yourself.
They are taking on my 9-2 Denver Broncos, who are a non-conference road favorite on Sunday Night Football. They are 5.5 point favorites, minus 260 on the money line. Commanders are plus 210. 43.5 is the total in Maryland. I believe it's my go. It is my team. But I think I had the first go with the Bills, so I will defer to you, Mr. Mansman.
This line seems really low to me. I think Denver should be a bigger favorite in this game.
It did open at 7.
Yeah, I don't really understand it. Regardless of who's playing quarterback or what the situation is with Washington, sometimes your record is what you say what it says it is. And Washington's just not a good football team. The defense hasn't been good all year. Their offense has been able to do some things, but we know Denver has a good defense, and defense travels. I get maybe why you might think, well, this could be a letdown spot for Denver. They got a couple game lead in the AFC, but they're fighting against New England to be the number 1 team. I don't know that, defense travels. Denver travels well. They have won in prime time before. I have no desire to back Washington as less than a touchdown underdog in really almost any game imaginable, but certainly not against the top team in the AFC. I think Denver, I know they've won some close games, but I think they find a way to get this done and keep the train moving.
Yeah, look, before I go out and just say bet Denver, Washington sucks, bet Denver. And I got a lot of coworkers and friends that are Commanders fans, so I will be happier than a pig in pig shit if the Broncos win. Here's where I'm going to admit some faults in my logic. Denver, for whatever reason, seems to struggle in Washington, despite barely ever really playing there. In the last 10, going back to 92, they're only 5-5 straight up. But we have Bo Nix. Bo Nix is 7-1 straight up in ATS against the NFC. Denver on Sunday Night Football has been a very big pain point in Broncos history. Ever since Peyton Manning left, you may recall Denver on Sunday Night Football. You always want to fade them. They're 2-8 straight up. But Bo Nix has never played on Sunday Night Football yet. Can't hold that against him. Actually, Denver has not been on Sunday Night Football since Sean Payton came in. And if you look at the primetime record, Bo is... Now, I'll give you two numbers. He's 4-1 straight up in primetime. If you want to count that Saturday night game against the Bengals, I think last year, you could say 4-2. But the trend I love here, I mentioned this earlier, he's a non-conference road favorite. Teams really, really, really good in this spot. 14-6 ATS, they're 15-5 straight up. And this line movement, it went from 7.5 to 5.5. Terry McLaurin's coming back. That's cool. Jaden Daniels, he looks like he's out. So it's Marcus Mariota at 5.5.
Oh, yeah.
And Pat Surtain 2 and Alex Singleton are both returning this week.
Oh, boy.
Why is this not back up at 7? I don't. Why is this not back up at 7?
I don't know.
My only concern is that betting Bo Nix as a favorite this year has not been profitable. It's not been that good. He's only done it twice this season, I think. One was Cincinnati. And I can't even think of the second one. I could try to look it up real quick. But yeah, no, it's beyond Broncos or nothing. This is, why would you back Mariota at this number?
Yeah, I agree. This a weird line to me. I don't understand it. I feel like Denver
they were at
should be-
home against Dallas. That was the other cover we got.
I feel like Denver should be a much bigger favorite in this game.
I do too. Something's interesting about this number, but yeah, Denver smash bot all the way. Under 43.5. I think Denver's defense is going to shut shit down. And Bo Nix, he will probably struggle in the first half. He'll pick it up later in the second.
Yeah,
I got
especially Mariota. Yeah.
Yeah, I got this 24-10, something like that.
Yeah, this feels like a 23-10 type game.
All right. Final game. We're on to Monday Night Football. It's the New England Patriots at home in Gillette Stadium. They're taking on the New York Giants with Jackson Dart back in at quarterback, no longer Jameis Winston. Giants are 7-point non-conference road underdogs. Plus 275 on the money line, minus 350 for the Patriots. 46.5 is the total. I think it's my go.
Turn? Oh
yep,
no, yeah, you're right. You're right. I went for Denver. Yeah.
All right. Oddly enough, I want this to be Jameis Winston, because then I would bet the over, and that would be that. I wouldn't care, and I wouldn't have to think about these teams. But now it's Jackson Dart on the road, Monday Night Football. Look, I could look at trends. I could look at things. They're all going to say fade the Giants. But you have to wonder, are those Daniel Jones stats or are these New York Giants stats? Because Tommy DeVito fucking came in on a Monday Night Football game. He beat Miami. Why couldn't Jackson Dart come in and put up a fight against New England? I don't know. Pats have won 4 straight at home with the NFC. They covered 3 out of those 4. I now don't see this as a high-scoring affair with Dart coming off the concussion protocol. I think they're going to be a little more cautious. They're going to be a little more conservative. And the Patriots defense, for what it's worth, I think they're halfway decent. And Giants in non-conference road games, they're 10-3 to the under since 2020. And Monday Night Football in general, they're 11-5 to the under as well. So I'm making this my under of the week because it's Jackson Dart, but I really don't have a good sway one side or the other on the spread. I would say New England at the even 7 or the flat 7, I guess is a better term, but
I think this is a really questionable number. I think because it's Jackson Dart, maybe they're afraid that the public would hammer the Giants if it gets above 7, or maybe they're afraid that the short. I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. I think the Giants. Don't get me wrong; they're a plucky team, but they've won 2 games. New England
the Patriots have won 10.
Yeah, New England is good. The Giants are not good. It's 7 points. You have Vrabel against a guy who isn't coaching. Mike Kafka. Yeah, It's kind of like Patriots. I guess I'm not ecstatic about the number, but I think the Patriots probably. If I had to choose, I think I go with New England.
I would say if you haven't used New England yet in Survivor, I think this is the week.
Yeah, if you're still alive in Survivor, I think New England, although they've probably been used already, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. If you haven't used them yet, I think it's this week or nothing. Because if you look at, I think New England's got a real rough end of schedule this year. Although, I know originally they had a pretty fairly easy schedule according to the metrics, but come on, where are you?
Yeah, they have had an easy schedule. They and the Bills have had a pretty easy schedule.
All right, here we go. So to end the season, they got Monday night with the Giants. They then host the Bills week 15, 1:00. Week 16,
that might be they could clinch the division next week.
Yeah, so they have a week 14 bye. They then have to come home, host the Bills. They then go on the road to Baltimore. They're back on the road against the Jets, and then they host the Dolphins. And usually by that time of year, we see some fluky shit.
God, they play nobody. Jesus Christ. Good Lord. They just Tennessee they got the Giants. Fucking unbelievable.
That's it though. We got through all 12. We have our best bets, and we have a mortgage bet this year that we're going to talk about.
Yes. Yeah, I guess we do.
All right. Give out our top 5 best bets, and then we'll see.
Yeah. So best bet, mortgage bet, Seattle Seahawks minus 11.5, 12.5. I would really go. I don't know if there's a number high enough. My fade of the week, Carolina Panthers plus 10. I don't think I gave out a dog of the week. You sold me on Houston. I'm going to make Houston my dog of the week plus 3.
So we have a double dog of the week.
Yeah, with CJ Stroud returning. For my last 2, this is a tough one. I think I like Baker Mayfield. If Baker Mayfield returns, I like that play, Tampa minus 3.5 at home. And then the last one, I'm going to go with your Denver Broncos, Sunday Night Football. I think that line's too small. I'm going to go with Denver minus 5.5 to round out my top 5.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah, you have Carolina. So, yeah, Houston for me, dog of the week. Love Denver minus 5.5. I do love your Seattle bet. We talked about that earlier. I'm going to go with you on Tampa, and then I guess I should, in theory, pick the Rams. They were my best bet.
You're leaving out your best
Yeah,
bet in
I
your
don't-
top 12. Got him running scared.
No, I was thinking about the Chargers, but I'm not going to do it. LA Rams -10. So we're just going to go heads up and see what happens.
All right.
We'll go heads up on that.
Well, I guess that's it, buddy. Anything else?
No, sir. Oh, my over-unders of the week. So my over of the week was over 40.5 in the LA Chargers Raiders game. Probably we'll do a parlay with Chargers money line or even Chargers with the spread. And I love the under of the week. I have under Monday Night Football for 46.5 in the Giants Patriots game. So those are my best bets. There's my top 5. I got nothing else, Mansman. We will talk about the mortgage bet offline. I am Steve. Hopefully I don't lose any more big bucks, Abeda.
Money Man's been signing off. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there. And as always, go win that motherfucking money.
Go win the motherfucking money. Have a good night.